Kazakhstan
Of all hopes.
in
All hopes,
StarCraft, I
period.
believe. But we're going to get to our Kazakhstani player in just a second. But first, we've got our blue Zerg player spawning in the top right of Orbital Shipyard. It's xXQuickScope.
And his opponent in the bottom of the left-hand corner, the red Protoss player, the color of blood, Storm Gaming's PiLiPiLi.
It's like he's a pillow. He's a very thin pillow. It's sort of like you need a couple of pillows. That's why he says his name twice, because that's how many you need to sort of elevate your head high enough so it's comfortable as you sleep. That is the origin, 100%. See, we.
I think his last name is Pilipenko.
Interesting.
QuickScope right off the bat taking the third base as his natural, pretty darn normal. And that is that actually a gate first for PiLiPiLi? Pardon me, not a gate. Nexus first, PiLiPiLi, both economical builds. QuickScope in the ZVZs was known for being really, really aggressive, and maybe that was one of the things last game with PiLiPiLi's also aggressive nature. They kind of clashed, and PiLiPiLi was able to win. But on this map, maybe we're going to see a little bit less of that situation where QuickScope can just, I'm going to shoot you in the face.
Wow, this is going to be great. We've got a Nexus first against a 3-hatch before pool. Very greedy openings here, very economically based. Double gas taken afterwards. We're going to have all the fixins here on this PVZ. Everything looking nice, gearing up for the late game. Both players, as far as scouting is concerned, PiLi's looking a little bit better at the moment. QuickScope saying, all right, I'm okay. My overlords are going to get into position, and they'll be totally fine to see just what is going on. And PiLi's going to steal some minerals, and that's just rude. It's just straight up rude.
Just rude. It's a mean thing to do. I'm sure the drones are going to go back and complain to their homies, but you know, Probe gets away for PiLiPiLi. Gonna be heading back on home, and I love that there's always that one drone. It's always the one drone of the group that's like, I'm gonna follow him. I got this, guys. I got this. I'm gonna follow him back home. Then you die. But no, that's not gonna happen. There is no tool drone in the drones.
Yep, and we do have 4 more Lings coming out here, as well as 3 Queens. That's one of my favorite things about 3-hatch before pool. You can be like, and 3 Queens, and they all come out, and you're like,
oh,
and
it's beautiful.
It just
3
feels
more
good.
queens.
I don't know if it's good
yeah.
or bad, but it just feels good when all the injects are just perfectly lined up. It's like
Oh, yeah,
having
it
your
feels
perfect SimCity as Protoss. Just this, oh yeah, and the pylon goes here, and I'm safe from Liberators. All right.
Same thing with Hatch Gas Pool. When the first 2 queens come out, you're like, he injects. Oh, and you're literally just, that is actually what I say. If you guys ever watch me stream and I play Zerg, I'm like, oh, the injects. Oh yeah, the injects.
It is, you know, it is a little erotic in there. Just the injects are that good. Getting nicely positioned.
Injects by
pylon over
themselves
here.
without the wording is quite erotic.
Oh, it
Jeff's
is. It is.
moving into the third base of QuickScope, and there's only 4 Lings right here. 4, 6. Right as I say that, like 8 Lings.
They were like hiding behind that queen. That was perfect. It was like,
What?
I was like, yeah, 4
What?
Lings. Just 2 just appear. I was like, oh my god. Imagine
What?
really
And they go into the
situation, like,
main.
oh yeah, just 4 Lings, no problem. 3 workers killed. Oh, can he beat his record? He only needs 1 more kill. If he
Oh,
kills
he's so
1 more
close.
record-
Forcing down. Forcing
Oh
down.
my god.
And he gets
Killed.
it. 5 kills.
Record. He
Oh.
breaks his personal record with the 2.
Wait, 6?
6?
6?
Oh my
What
god.
is that? 33% more than his personal record? No, 50% more?
50%.
Whoa. I like felt brain damage right
Wow.
there because I yelled and there was
That-
no oxygen in my head.
That's huge.
Ooh.
That is huge. That will determine the outcome of
Actually-
this game. I'm just kidding. It's not that big.
Wait, without being really big, I think that actually was maybe not huge, but I wasn't
strong.
joking when I've never seen an adept, 2 adept push get more than 3 kills. I was not joking about that. And the reason why they were able to acquire these extra kills is because all the Lings of QuickScope went into the main, so were the Queens pulled into the main, because QuickScope's like, you're gonna shade. I understand how you work. And then PiLiPiLi's like, I'm my own person. No one understands me. And gets into the third.
Misunderstood teenagers just like, no one understands me. I'm not gonna shade there. Just because everybody else shades there doesn't mean I'm gonna do it too.
You were saying shave, and I was like, that's awkward. Why are you talking about
also-
shaving?
Also, that way, say, you know, going to I'm not gonna shave.
That's...
It appears. Oh god.
Oh man, wow. Hallucinated Phoenix is gonna have a very bad day.
Speaking of
Very
teenagers,
bad.
hallucinations, very nice link up there.
Oh.
And we've got
little
many
bit of mushrooms.
Yeah, you know, whatever your hallucinogenic of choice might be. Nice little Overlord Scout over here gets to see every of the tech just before it dies.
Beautiful.
This is like the tech cluster. This is like Silicon Valley of PiLiPiLi's base. It's like, this is where all of the tech gets researched.
In the stock, those are the two bodyguards. They're like, we got this. And the Overlord like dashes in, like, oh, we don't have it.
Stealing our
We don't have it
pets!
anymore. They're like, oh yeah. Right when the pants were down, both stalkers were going to the bathroom. And by the way, talking about hallucinogenics, should that be a thing on Facebook now? My mind went back and was like hallucinogenic of choice. Oh, my gender, my age, hallucinogenic of choice.
That's standard, you know, fill out your form. What is your hallucinogenic of choice? You know, it comes right after social security number when you're asking for a loan, things like that. But we do have nice Roach Ravager mid-game setup over here. We are getting Roach. The only upgrades in the game so far, though, have gone to our Protoss player, +1 attack, which would be quite nice against any Lings, but there are a few on the map at the moment.
QuickScope spots this Warp Prism moving out. Automatically, 2 spores are on the way. And looks like we're going to see PiLiPiLi pull back. In the middle of the map is that another hallucinated Phoenix. That is, hallucinations are phenomenal for PiLiPiLi. Keeping an eye on what's going on. QuickScope going Roach Ravager, of course. Off the back of this, Resonating Glaives is start, +2 and Immortal. Basically, PiLiPiLi's just looking for an angle. Once he can secure that angle, he'll go for it, and off the back of that, he'll just do a big ol' all-in, I think.
Big ol' all in. Definitely possible here. We've got a large Roach Ravager force. All the R key is being used quite efficiently here and held down in great effect. I love the pathing on this map, by the way. They always
it's great.
Through this stuff.
It's like an obstacle course.
All right, squeeze through here, like
juke left, juke right.
All right, gotta get between the gold mineral. In the meantime, though, we do have an adept Warp Prism.
PiLiPiLi taking engagement, no Guardian Shield, nothing off the back of that. Couple Corrosive Bowels from QuickScope. As JaKaTaK just mentioned, there's 4 adepts on the right-hand side looking for an angle. PiLiPiLi realizes he can't quite take the engagement at that concave and is going to pull back. By the way, the Warp Prism was scouted earlier, and there's like 5 queens. Or was scouted earlier, but I don't know if he scouted it now. And 4 queens and 2 spores shut down. No photon overcharges quite yet. 1 photon overcharge does go down, but both pylons are killed. There's no force field at the ramp yet if QuickScope wanted to go up into the main. PiLiPiLi pulls back, utilizes the photon overcharges in cannon, being very careful. Oh, 1 Immortal, man. That Immortal stepping out a little bit farther than it wants to. Force fields go away, and the entire army of QuickScope is gunning them down. 3 more force fields, an awkward force field at one pylon. 2 barriers are used.
Maybe.
Yeah, but maybe. Nice force fields, but actually, PiLiPiLi with a big blink backwards might sacrifice some of these Immortals. These Immortals don't have their barriers left. They're going to have to pull back, but I think QuickScope is not going to be able to keep pushing. There's nothing off the back of this. Yes, it's a 4th base, but there's just nothing off the back.
Yeah, he's stopped making units for the most part behind this.
But the Corrosive Vials!
Here.
Corrosive Vials.
Excellent Corrosive Vials to finish things off. Trying to salvage some cost efficiency. We do have 1-1. And metabolic boost on the way. So we're still looking at that melee long-term plan. As the disruptors come out, that big Ling count, very useful against dealing with the disruptors, because if you can get in close to the disruptors, they're much less likely to kill a lot of your Lings, just because you have to watch out for that friendly fire damage.
That's where we start to see really heavy Adept compositions or heavy Colossus compositions that do start to re-emerge, because you need something that doesn't do friendly fire. Creep spread is not really there at this 4th base, and a big blink forward, focusing it down, and will QuickScope get there in time? The answer is not even close to it, but maybe QuickScope has an opportunity. Lots of Ravagers, good Corrosive Vial, but PiLiPiLi's Disruptor, I love that. He's so confident.
Oh, yeah, zoning it out.
Like, I got this. You can't do nothing on me. No static defenses. There is a decent amount of Queens, though, for injects, if that is that, and all of them have 200 energy. 1 Disruptor moves out, but it's going to be focused.
My God.
Focused down. Was it focused down? No, it wasn't focused down.
No, that went off.
Barely got their big blink to save that Disruptor. Huge shots, and there's only 3 or 4 Ravagers left. A lot were killed in that Disruptor shot. PiLiPiLi does have to pull back, but he's starting to choke out QuickScope. Off the back of this, PiLiPiLi does have a 4th, and like 7 cannons are being thrown down there. I use like because truly it's like 7 cannons, something. like 7. There's so many cannons right there. Oh, the Warp Prism. Is PiLiPiLi going to do Warp Prism Disruptor? I believe.
We'll have to take a look. I mean, the creep spread is amazing, but it doesn't really matter if you only have 3 bases. And the Protoss is a base ahead of you. For those of you who are not familiar with StarCraft, Zerg is the race that is generally a base ahead. If you're even, you're said to be ahead of the Zerg. This is huge.
Another big disruptor shot is not quite going to pick up as much as it could have. Could have done something more. Warp Prism is going to move into the main with 4 Adepts. Beautiful time warp from PiLiPiLi on top of QuickScope. QuickScope is going to be fighting at this choke, which is not where he wants to do. A lot of the stars get damaged down, but at the same time in the main, so many Adepts. I can't even count that high Adept-wise. Lings are going to be going there, but there's going to be a meat grinder moving in 1 by 1. Adepts doing damage, and now this third base, PiLiPiLi is getting right on top of the Ravagers. There's only Ravagers left. Ravagers have left health than Roaches, and they're not going to quite be able to survive as long as there's the
GG. Well played there. Excellently done.
2-0. Doing good.
That was intense, to quote.
Only if it was only PiLiPiLi versus intense.
Oh man, but wow.
I don't know. So, don't ask. Don't ask.
The man, I love watching Billy play. He just makes these situations happen and just sort of like, oh man, I got out-greeted just by a little bit. You know, it pretty much doesn't matter. I'm gonna make this happen. You know, he holds back. He makes that great hold against the Ravager push and just rallies it around, turns it right back, and comes in for the win. He's ahead 2-0 in the series. Got to be feeling great right now.
Just to go back to that hold with the Ravagers, PiLiPiLi at his third, lots of Ravagers move in. PiLiPiLi pulls his army back to stay within the photon overcharges, and then there's maybe an option for QuickScope to move into the main. But PiLiPiLi is one immortal he's microwing like on its own on that ramp that's pushing back the Roaches, and honestly, like that one immortal Rambo didn't allow any Lings, nothing to get up into that main. It was acting as a little bit of a wall, and it's patience, purely. PiLiPiLi, he is patient, and and as you said, when he's like, I'm gonna immortal zealot you, he's gonna immortal zealot you. He doesn't care if it doesn't work because he's gonna make it work.
Absolutely, just waiting for the right time there, and just really cool micro interactions. Just making sure. And I think this is something that happens quite often where players will see the corrosive bile come down and they'll be like, "Oh no!" and they'll all back up. If you notice in that last engagement, there were a lot of moments in time where he actually moved forward. And he got all of his, if you can get your units past that line, you can be dealing damage to the units all that time. The blink forward on top to finish it off at the end. Just knowing when you have that advantage. It's a very risky thing to do. It's a very difficult thing to do at the right time. Make that, decision making sort of in the moment. But PiLi is shown to be a player who's just really, really good at that style of play.
It's something with Blink Stalkers I think you can do against lots of Ravagers because Ravagers do have less health. So with a big aggressive move forward or a Blink, if it's pure Ravager, you can punish